guys, it's Sam and I'm here to do a bit of a different video for you today. My channel mostly covers books, but basically I enjoy a good story no matter what medium it is in, and one of my favorite forms of storytelling is through video games. So today I'm going to be doing the gamer tag. I'm not sure who started this tag or what channel started this tag. I saw it on a random vlogger's channel and they didn't leave the original there, so I'm not really sure. If you do know, comment down below and let me know and I'll add all that credit there, but I wasn't able to find the original video, so let's get going. Question number 1 is all-time favorite video game. I honestly cannot choose. I follow a lot of franchises. There are really currently no standalone video games in my current world. I feel like every game is a franchise now. So my two favorite franchises of all time are the Assassin's Creed franchise. We're ignoring Assassin's Creed 3 because I really didn't enjoy it. And the Final Fantasy franchise, which I have been following both of those for years. I've been following Assassin's Creed since it first came out. And then I found out about Final Fantasy during game 12, but then went back and played some of the other ones like 7 and 8 and that kind of thing. So I've been following these franchises for a while. Every time a game comes out, I know about it. I usually go and buy it as soon as possible if it's available for the console I currently have, and everything else. So those are my two favorite franchises. Number 2 is your current favorite video game. Again, a hard one to choose because I kind of switch between video games, but my current that I'm playing right now that I really love is Assassin's Creed 4, which is Black Flag. It's the pirate game. You guys know I love pirates. I can literally be a pirate and do pirate things while being an assassin. Pirate assassin. It's the best game. I love it so much. It is so good. It's such a good game. If you're not even into the Assassin's Creed franchise or you have not really had any interest, go play Black Flag, because Black Flag is like I said, you're an assassin pirate. I don't even need to talk about it anymore. It's amazing. But I also really love the Mass Effect franchise. I have not finished the third game because I like to milk it, but I'm starting it very soon. The Mass Effect franchise is a sci-fi video game. It's almost like a space opera, honestly. So if you enjoy science fiction or anything, please go check out the Mass Effect trilogy right now, but there's going to be a 4th game that's going to be also in the same world. I will talk about those games later. Question number 3 is favorite genre. I know my least favorite genre is first-person shooter. Yes, I do sometimes play first-person shooters, but I don't play like Call of Duty. I never played Halo, any of those. I really don't like them that much, but my favorite is probably RPG games. Anytime that you get to fully customize your character and get to decide how they act, what they say, what they wear, what kind of armor they wear, if it's like a fighting type game, all of that, that is what I am the most pumped about. Number 4 is how long have you been playing video games? I've been playing video games since I was a small child. My dad actually bought video games for the computer back when there was still like MS-DOS, like back in the day, and he's not really a gamer or anything. My dad's fairly old, he's like in his 70s, but he really enjoys like puzzle type games, so he used to buy games for the computer and I used to play those. So the first game I fully remember playing on the computer is Monster Bash. I will put a little thing right here. Look at those pixelated goodness. And I really don't know how I played that game so much because I was a scaredy cat kid, and I'm a scaredy cat person in general, and that's kind of like, for being pixelated and bad graphics, like that's kind of a creepy game. There's like vampires and zombies and skeletons and everything. It's like a side scroller. I loved it. I loved it. And I remember playing the Myst games. For those of you that used to play computer games, Myst and Riven and all these games were like puzzle games. It was like a first person, you had to go through and solve all these things. They were so hard and so mind-bending, and the twists that happened in those games were crazy. They've been remastered since so you can play them, I think even on like Xbox and PlayStation, but I know that they've been remastered for the PC for sure, and they are amazing. So if you like puzzly type games, if you like figuring things out, those are games that are definitely really good. Myst took me months to figure out, and it took my dad, who was an adult at the time, months to figure out. It's such a good game. Question number 5 is the first game you ever played. I kind of already answered that with Monster Bash on the computer, but the first game that I ever remember playing on a console was actually Mario 64 from the Nintendo 64. I actually discovered it. My aunt and uncle and cousins and stuff had one of those big projection screens in their basements, and Thanksgiving, the older cousins were playing this game, and I just sat there mesmerized like, what is that game? I need that game. I want that game. So I got a Nintendo for Christmas, an N64, my first console, and played it to death. So that was the first official video game console type game that I ever played. Question number 6 is what game have you clocked the most hours in? I honestly can't answer that either. One of the games I used to play all the time was the Need for Speed Underground games. Yes, the street racing games. I loved them so much. These were the underground street racing. You got to trick out your car. I used to just drive around for hours in that game. I loved it so much. So I know I clocked a lot of time in one of those games, in one of those, I think it was a trilogy of like the underground street racing games. Also Final Fantasy XIII, it's kind of like a free roam world. I collect a lot in there. You can hunt down different monsters and stuff, and I just would walk around and do that because I loved that game so much. And I've been playing Skyrim for like the past year on and off, so Skyrim will probably ultimately be the game that I clock the most hours in, because it never ends. And I'm not even halfway through the main storyline on that game, and it's never gonna end. But that's probably gonna be the game that I'm gonna end up at the end of my life clocking the most hours in. Question number 7 is your longest gaming session. A day. I mean, I remember with a lot of games just getting up in the morning, starting to play the game, playing all day, it's dark out, going to bed, starting over, especially when you have a new game. Like when Final Fantasy XIII came out, it had been forever since a Final Fantasy had been released, and I just played that over and over and over. Skyrim, when I first discovered it, I didn't want to keep playing it, but I had to, and I played it for days. Like they're never ending. I can't even tell you how long a gaming session has been. It's a long time. Question number 8 is favorite game developer. Let's say Ubisoft. They are the creators of the Assassin's Creed franchise, but they're being a little jerky lately, and by a little I mean a lot jerky lately, and they're not putting out a game with a female protagonist because they think that the graphics are too hard. That's their excuse for it. I will link some things down below about that, but it's bullshit. So I'm a little mad at them. Even though I love their games, I'm a little mad at them. But the other gaming company that is really rising in the ranks for me is BioWare. They created the Mass Effect series, which like I said is one of my favorite series right now, and they also did the Dragon Age series, which I am going to pick up actually this weekend because it's gaming season. Winter is my gaming season, and I want more games because I don't have enough apparently. And I really, really enjoy the way they build their characters. It's really, if you really enjoy stories, you know, if you're a book reader and you don't really like video games but you really enjoy stories and characters, they create immersive stories with characters that you genuinely care about, and I really, really love the way they do things, so I'm really interested to get into the next Mass Effect games as well as the Dragon Age games. Question number 9 is favorite hero character. I'm gonna have to say Ezio Auditore from the Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy. For those of you who don't know, Assassin's Creed is kind of broken into a lot of different main characters. The first game is following one character, the second game was turned into a trilogy, which was 2, Brotherhood and Revelations, and that was one character, and that was Ezio, and then there was a third game with a separate character, and then the fourth game, Black Flag, that I just talked about, is another character, and then the new game, Unity and Rogue, is even different characters. They're all in different timelines. So basically, that long-winded answer was Ezio. You had 3 games with him, you fell in love with him, or at least I did. I was so attached to Ezio and Ezio's backstory. You found out everything about him. You followed him from the time that he became an assassin at like 17 or 18 until his death. You followed this man's whole life, and you were him, and I was so attached to him, and I loved him so much. Having said that, as far as side characters that you don't actually get to play as, my 2 favorite hero characters, which are again surprisingly male because it's a male-dominated industry, but I really enjoyed Garrus and Thane from Mass Effect 2. I love them. I played a Lady Shepard. Shepard is the name of the main character in Mass Effect, and you can always take 2 team members with you, and Garrus and Thane were always my 2 team members. I love them. I love them so much. I love them. And they survived in my last mission. For those of you that don't play the game, we're not going down on talking about, but they survived, and I was so excited. I love those characters so, so much. Question number 10 is favorite villain. So I had a lot of trouble coming up with a villain. I really usually love the villains of the games. Surprise, surprise. And I don't play a lot of games where you have like boss battles and you have this overarching villain the entire time. There's more just like little things going on piling up. But I think my favorite standalone villain is Bowser from the Mario games, because Bowser is reliable, he's always gonna steal the princess and think he's won, and then Mario goes and gets him, and it's Bowser. I mean, Bowser is my childhood. Question number 11 is most hated character of any game. Again, I couldn't really think of one, and then it struck me. Any of the child/preteen characters in the Final Fantasy games are so annoying. If any of you have played those games, they're always the whiny, I can't even. The voices that they use, the voice actors that they use are just really annoying. They're always very whiny, and they're everything I hate in the character. So I always usually remove them from my group. You can usually choose who's in your group for the Final Fantasy games. And when I can, they're out of my group. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to, no. So any of the preteen/child characters from the Final Fantasy games, no. Number 12 is what gaming systems do you own? Currently, I have a Nintendo 64, there are 2 PlayStation 3s in the house because my boyfriend and I both have our PlayStations, and I really want to get a Wii U very soon. I'm hoping that Black Friday will have some kind of deal Fingers crossed, I really want a Wii U. But those are the consoles that I have right now. I do have plans to get a PlayStation 4 once more games come out for it where I like need to buy it. Because right now they're being released for both systems, so I don't need to buy it yet because I'm cheap, obviously. I'm gonna wait for them to kind of lower in price. So soon it will also be PlayStation 4. 13 is first gaming system. I already kind of answered this. The first system I ever bought was the N64 and it was green. And I loved it. 14 is favorite gaming system. I am a Sony person. I always buy the PlayStation. Since I first got the first PlayStation, I've always only bought the PlayStations. I can't get used to the Xbox controller. Some of my friends have Xboxes. I just can't. I'm used to the PlayStation controller. I know people are like, well, it's easier for your hands for the Xbox. No. My hands are molded to the PlayStation controller for life. Number 15, do you prefer to play female characters or male characters? When I have the option, I prefer to play a female character. I prefer to just make a character and have them be female. I always pick that option if there is one. A lot of times there's not. Like I said, for the Assassin's Creed games, you have to be whoever it is, and it's always a dude. But if you can choose your gender, I always choose the ladies. Number 16 is, do you follow the walkthroughs or do you play through on your own? A little bit of both. I just play through on my own usually, but if I get stuck on something and it's been like hours and I can't beat it, I will look up the walkthrough. I do not care. I mean, there's an internet for a reason now. Like, I don't need to pride myself on like, I beat that whole game without any help. Like, no. I'm gonna ask for help if it's really that hard. And usually I'm just being like stupid and there was some really easy solution. But sometimes like there's all these tricks that like I wasn't gonna figure that out anytime soon. So it brings me more satisfaction to just play the game in the pace that I want to and not get stuck and held up for years. So those times have passed. If I need to, I will look up the walkthrough on the wiki. That is what the internet is for, and that makes me the most happy and not throwing controllers and trying to break my TV. Question number 17 is, have you been to a gaming convention? I have never been to a video game convention. I have been to a number of board game and tabletop gaming conventions though. Question number 18 is, which game are you most excited about to come in the future? And again, I follow franchises, guys, so I'm the most excited for whatever franchise I'm following. So the next Assassin's Creed game, one just recently came out like a week ago, but I'm already excited for the next one to come out because I just love those games. The next Mass Effect game, they announced Mass Effect 4. The trilogy is still existing on its own as it was, so they're releasing a fourth game that's going to take place in the same world, probably following different characters. I'm so stoked. It is such a good science fiction world. Oh my god, it is so amazing. So I'm really, really excited for that. And as always, I'm excited for the next Final Fantasy game. I usually don't follow the sequels to the games, like sometimes they will release 13, 13-2, 13 whatever. I only follow like the main games, so I'm waiting for the next game in the Final Fantasy franchise to come out. That's not online multiplayer, just a normal Final Fantasy game. I don't even know what it's going to be, but I'm really excited for that to come out. And I'm also excited for the next Elder Scrolls game, which is the franchise that Skyrim belongs to. I'm not sure when that's going to be. They're still just speculating, but it's going to be awesome. Again, a great fantasy game. Question number 19 is best memory of a video game. Anytime I play a video game in like a couch co-op, so when you're playing with a friend on the couch, same console, same time, split screen type thing, I really love those experiences. My boyfriend and I played Borderlands on a couch co-op type situation, and I really, really enjoyed it. I probably wouldn't have finished the game if I was playing it by myself, but playing it with somebody was really fun, and as a first-person shooter that I actually enjoyed. Also, I played the Donkey Kong Country for the Wii and the Super Mario's game for the Wii, the original Wii, with my college roommate, and it was so much fun. It was actually really hard a lot of times because those games are surprisingly challenging. They were a lot of fun. There were a lot of times we stayed up super, super late, like before exams and stuff, just to like finish this one level. So any of the couch co-op experiences are the best. Number 20 is worst memory from a video game. I think this was still back when I was playing games on the computer, but I remember distinctly saving over a old save file of a game that was almost completed, that I was almost done with a new game. I don't know how it happened. I just remember the distinct rage that happened, and I don't remember which game it was. I just remember it happening, and I remember like my stomach falling and just being like, so much time lost. I like I said, I can't remember if what game it was. I can't remember if I even finished the game or if I was just like, screw it, I'm done, I can't. Because even now I'm like, I have this really visceral reaction to the fact that I accidentally saved over an old save file. And the last question, question number 21, is which video game character do you see yourself as? Obviously, I see myself as like the characters that I built. Like I have a character in Skyrim that I kind of feel like I am because you play as like first person. I really liked my Captain Shepard from the Mass Effect games because you can personalize them to make them look however you want them to look. But I think the character that I love the most and really would love to see myself kind of as is Fang from Final Fantasy XIII. I really wanted to cosplay her one day I will cosplay her. I have dreams, I have visions. When I have the time and the money, I will do it. But I loved her. She is really sassy and spunky, and she has a very similar sense of humor to me. So she's kind of like the character that if I lived in that world, I feel like I would be like her. Maybe that's just me, you know, thinking I'm a little bit cooler than I actually am. But yeah, I just love her as a character. Alright guys, that is it for the tag. I'm not going to tag anybody because I don't know who enjoys video games, but if you do this tag, or if you enjoyed this tag, comment down below and let me know. I plan to do future videos about video games because I just really enjoy that medium and all the genres involved with that, and they really relate to a lot of the books that I like, so I will be talking about games in the future. If that is something that you enjoy, then look forward to some of that in the future. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!